Right, what's another food stuff associated with Christmas that we can repurpose into a concept for a Christmas film? Well, I must say, I don't really think of mixed nuts as being a Christmas thing.
No, I had mixed nuts as a chillin', back at my dad's house. But back at my dad's house, as long as there were no vegetables, it was that's Christmas. So I think as long as it's nothing, particularly left wing like vegetables.
That better be a legume you got there, son.
No, Dad. Back to the borstal with you. You say.
He would say. with a hearty laugh and a bounce of his belly, and a quick trip to the borstal it would be. So, okay, what have we got?
Well, there's nothing says Christmas like a pie, like a cheese pie. So
yes, cheese pie. That's right. So the movie's called Cheese Pie. How do we articulate that and tie the premise into cheese pie?
Okay, well, Steve Martin's back, obviously, with a score to settle with society at large.
Yep, society.
Yeah, society, and the Australian man that's in Mixed Nuts that does the
American
American accent.
Brother, yeah.
That's it. And what was the question? How do we incorporate this into Christmas?
Yeah, how do we make it a cheese pie movie? How do we make it a classic cheese pie movie, mate?
Oh, God. Well, I have the perfect plan, and that is... So, okay.
Yes, here we go.
As I said, Steve Martin is still in it. Got to respect the mark.
Yep.
Juliette Lewis is in it, and she gets hit by a cheese pie.
There you go. Got it, mate.
That's it.
$1 million budget.
And then as she falls unconscious, probably, Steve Martin just stands over her going, cheese pie. And then...
And that's everything about an English Christmas to me.
Yeah. And then he turns to the camera and he's like, oh, what's the deal with kids today?
Oh, man. It's topical as well. How do they keep it so fresh? Like a cheese pie.
As fresh as a cheese pie, mate. That's what I always say.
It's fresh like a cheese pie, runs the tagline. Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that's only good on the phone. I'm Paul Pothole.
I don't even have a fax.
We are carrying on regardless of all requests with our 2022 Christmas season.
Mixed nuts.
We're reviewing one of the very worst received Christmas movies of all time, maybe. It's 1994's black comedy Mixed Nuts.
Philip's job is solving other people's problems.
May I put you on hold while I run to my desk? You're not calling from a bridge or holding a weapon?
No.
Good.
But unfortunately, he's got problems of his own.
I don't know how to say this. My psychiatrist thinks we should break up.
I didn't know you were going to a psychiatrist.
Well, I'm not actually going to one. I've been dating one for 4 months.
And now it's Christmas.
Can we show a little Christmas spirit around here?
Merry Christmas!
Somebody's not in a holiday mood, I guess.
A time when the lonely
If you think your husband is having an affair, he is.
feel most alone.
I'm very lonely tonight. Is there any chance I could stop by and talk?
Well, if you were willing to make a small donation, say perhaps $5,000.
I'm kidding.
TriStar Pictures presents
Are you a professional ukulele player?
Oh, no, I'm a writer.
What do you write?
T-shirts.
Mixed Nuts.
It's not as black as the Ben Affleck one, and it's not as good.
Oh, true. Oh, God. Not as good as that. I listened to our episode on that today, and my God, was it a fraught listen. We were so unhappy.
Christmas with a Psychopath, which is the Japanese title.
This one is Christmas with Psychopaths. Oh, God. Now, the film is directed by Nora Ephron, one of the very few household name female directors, especially of her era, whose place in the canon is not necessarily guaranteed due to the often condescending views held by the not uncoincidentally male-dominated institutions of film academia and criticism towards romantic comedies, which is where she made her name. But fuck all that, let's focus on her least well-respected work.
Yay! I have no respect for her whatsoever, mate, because this is the only... I think this is the only Nora Ephron movie that I've seen. And I hold her personally responsible for everything in it.
I am aware that she is very well respected for having written When Harry Met Sally and having directed Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, and Julie and Julia, none of which I have seen.
No.
I'm also aware that she is not well respected for having directed Michael and... Oh, God, something in the noughties.
Michael.
Michael and Beichel. A very ill thought out duology. One in which John Travolta plays an angel, the other in which Nicolas Cage plays that same angel.
Oh,
it was, ahead of its
City of
time
Angels.
in some ways.
Is that City of Angels?
Yeah.
No.
Although, oh my god, I didn't even put that together, that there is a Nicolas Cage angel movie, which is a remake of Wings of Desire. That had nothing to do with Nora Ephron, but oh my god, that's weird that the face-off guys each have an angel movie. Bewitched, that was it. She did the Bewitched with Brendan Fraser. No, she didn't even. Sorry, my mistake. She did do a terrible movie called Bewitched, but it wasn't Bedazzled, which is what I was thinking of. It's that remake of the witch comedy with Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell.
Oh.
The Bewitched. That fraught folk horror film.
Comedy.
Sorry, I'm so out of my depth, and I apologize for that, everyone. I don't tend to get on well with comedy movies, and the fact that we occasionally have to watch something like Mixed Nuts doesn't exactly help with that.
So this is what all comedy's like, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well.
I feel continually justified in only watching Jean Dielman forever.
Best movie of all time. Even better than The Shawshank Redemption. Yeah, because watching this movie makes me think that Nora Ephron was a Gary Marshall type. And just watching this movie, not actually knowing anything about Nora Ephron.
Did Gary Marshall also do a few really good ones?
Did he do Pretty Woman, or is that someone else?
I have no idea, mate.
Again,
I'm so out of my territory. This is literally, I get to be a non-film guy whenever the conversation turns to American comedies. I just have no idea.
Pretty Woman, Paul, is a serious movie.
I've seen the second half of Pretty Woman, and I remember quite liking it, and then having a conversation just before I disappointed in us in not providing us with a live audience of Kazuo Ishiguro, having a conversation with Nadia and Casey about how Pretty Woman is actually not great.
Well, look,
I have a very distinct memory for when I'm opposed on things, when I'm correctly opposed on things.
Correctly, I should say. Yes, Gary Marshall directed Pretty Woman. But he also directed Mother's Day and all the shit films we covered in this.
Oh, right,
podcast.
Yes, Gary Marshall, yeah. Incredibly old man.
Yeah.
The oldest man who ever lived.
Incredibly old dead man, Gary Marshall.
That's correct.
And we're now dealing with tragically not as old, also dead Nora Ephron. So let's get ready to insult
Let's get ready for all of that, because this film is also part of that rich tradition of terrible American remakes of French comedies. Almost as if the humor doesn't really travel that well. Almost. Get the fuck out of here, La Cage aux Folles. Stop complicating things here.
Oh, but they managed it with Force Majeure, Paul, which isn't French.
Oh,
but it has a French name.
Well, there you go. You see, if it's any other comedy, it translates like a motherfucker. This is a remake of the French film Le Père Noël est une odeur. Any idea? Any guess?
Le Père Noël est une odeur. How do you spell that?
S-un. Odeur.
E-S-U-N. Yep. Okay, Aeon.
Yep.
I think. What,
Aeon?
No,
it's E-S.
I guess you wouldn't usually pronounce the S, I don't think, but if it's before a vowel, maybe? Essen.
Yeah, to give it Essen.
And the final... Dormer, sleep.
No, it's Odeur. Sorry, I'm fucking with you.
Oh, okay.
O-R-D-U-R-E. So like...
Odeur. Like the ordeal of Father Christmas?
No.
The ordeal of Father Christmas.
S-un, so is a.
Oh, is a wank.
Odor. Close, is a stinker. Odor, like odor.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Father Christmas is a stinker, and it's about, apparently...
Fils de pute d'Orfracan.
Well, exactly.
I just...
Father Christmas, a guy dressed up as Father Christmas goes to a Christmas party of a suicide hotline, and hijinks ensue. Is the
I can imagine. What hijinks.
What hijinks.
What a stinker.
What a stinker that guy actually is. So critics reacted to the film like a faxed breakup note.
Yeah.
Breakup text really can't compare. Not to...
Ooh, a fax. Oh, wait.
I am leaving... I hope it's the house so that she can be here soon.
This engagement reservation won't hold itself.
Oh god, critics reacted to the film. Oh yeah, I've already said that bit.
Yeah.
So, Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times said, Every character shines with such dazzling intensity and such inexhaustible comic invention that the movie becomes tiresome, like too many clowns.
Oh.
You ever had too many clowns, mate?
I'm not. I don't live.
Very tiresome.
I haven't lived the same privileged lifestyle as Roger Ebert. I was too busy dancing.
Must we have another clown, Mother? Father, Mother has ordered so many clowns for my birthday. There's barely any room for guests.
Settle down, baby Roger Ebert. Articulate baby Roger Ebert.
1-year-old Roger Ebert. Public, on the other hand, did feel that this movie had tits like Dolly Parton.
I mean, we all think that.
We're all thinking it probably does. Sheldon Wood at Google said, very funny and entertaining from beginning to end. I like how everything ties together at the end. I think this is the only movie I've seen Steve Martin with no grey or white hair. Powerful stuff.
It's a bonus, you know. People
argued. I was thinking about that.
Well, people argued that it didn't exist.
Yeah, I've got something surprising for you.
Oh, is it that SNL is good?
That would be a surprise, but no, it's not. Okay. It's absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
No, Adam Sandler is only a sixthman.
What?
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, yo. Films are shit, mate.
After all this time, this is his 6th movie. That feels literally impossible. I think if we counted his producing credits, he would be an infinite.
Yes, okay, yeah, because you'd have the wrong Missy to start.
Yeah. Bucky Larson.
Wow. Bucky Larson. So yeah, Grown Ups 2, Jack and Jill.
Ridiculous 6.
Ridiculous 6, Spanglish.
Yeah.
This.
That's 6?
That's 5. I'm willing to believe that there's another one, but I am surprised that there aren't more.
Yeah,
maybe
it's very strange.
Oh, did we not count the Adam Sandler-a-thon?
Oh no, we didn't count the Adam Sandler-a-thon, in which we reviewed 5 more Adam Sandler movies that I mostly hated. You're right on the money there, mate.
Yeah. Because, I mean...
The other one was Pixels.
Pixels, there we go. I mean, we could put Little Nicky in there, surely. And,
oh, Christ, yeah.
Yeah.
And The Waterboy and The Wedding Singer.
What was that, mate? My mic cut out.
Nothing. Oh, no, nothing, mate.
It's weird that my mic cut out, but I still couldn't hear you. Well, I think about that.
Let's think about another thing, which is that this movie was fucking shot.
It's fucking shit.
It was shit, but it was also shot by Sven Nykvist.
Ooh.
Audiences may know him as the guy who shot almost every good Bergman film, including his amazing 60s era work.
Wow.
Has also worked with Louis Malle, Bob Fosse, and even Tarkovsky on The Sacrifice.
And I can only imagine he was just paid money to not show up.
I can only imagine that he and Dean Cundey had a bet on that Dean Cundey fought meant for the rest of their lives.
Oh, fucking hell, it doesn't make any sense. What's going on?
How does Sandler keep attracting these incredibly talented cinematographers?
God,
to work with... He also shot Sleepless in Seattle. That even still is quite a break from Bergman.
Yeah. I guess everybody needs a break from Bergman, even Bergman.
That's true. Well,
especially Bergman.
Especially Bergman.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well look.
Perhaps because of that... Mm-hmm. Mixed Nuts has Nykvist has 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, 14% on Metacritic, and made $6.8 million on a $20 million budget.
Uh-oh.
And Sandler doesn't come cheap. So, Paul, you loser.
Obvious Adam Sandler reference. Could hear me coming a mile off, mate.
What's one thing about Mixed Nuts that makes you feel all fluffy like you were dancing on a cloud?
Oh, it made me feel really good that Madeline Kahn is in this.
She
do you remember Madeline Kahn also in At Long Last Love? Wonderful film.
Yeah, absolutely. Which didn't count towards her threesome total. No. But she was also in... She was in something else, I remember.
Yeah, Blazing Saddles, Paul, is the obvious.
Yeah, she was in Blazing Saddles.
But in Lily von Stupp. But in terms of terrible movies, I can't remember. I refuse. But she's in this, and that's
she's
great.
in this.
She's in this, and she has a good moment, and the rest is just sort of smothered under the general noise and cacophony of existence / this film.
She was also in Clue. I really like that movie. Can't see anything else we would have reviewed, us idiots.
Maybe it's just this and At Long Last Love then. Well, that makes me feel better. I forgot that we struck that from the records.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You rest for another week, Horsey X model Sybil Shepherd.
We're coming for your love.
Oh, God.
Well, speaking of coming for your love, it's a sunny LA Christmas day.
Yeah.
And a pregnant woman chases her husband into the street where he crashes into two skaters, Parker Posey and Jon Stewart, taking home a Christmas tree, which attracts the attention of Steve Martin. It's it's a tale as old as time, a festive treat for all.
With Juliette Lewis there.
Oh, God. Felix, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but...
Honey, you are the only person in my whole life who's never hurt my feelings.
You're a loser, and I can't have a loser dropping in and out of my baby's life.
Juliette Lewis there and Daphne's brother from Frasier. So let's meet some people. Yes, Juliette Lewis is the pregnant lady. Australian man Anthony LaPaglia is Daphne's British brother from Frasier and is here as the city of New York.
I am not a loser. I'm an artist.
Why can't you paint on canvas or paper like anyone else?
Because I'm a wall artist.
But you don't have a wall.
Yeah, but someday I will have a wall. Someday I'm going to do my masterpiece on a great big wall right out there on the boardwalk. And you're going to be in it, and the baby's going to be in it, and the sand and the sea and the stars are going to be shining.
Because somehow this movie isn't a New Yorker movie.
No, but he is walking here, and
he is walking everywhere.
Yeah. He's running here.
He's running here as Santa, and also Rita Wilson is here from Jingle All the Way. So and some good stuff as well. But there's your Christmas credentials.
Do you fit the physical description of his victims? Are you a very attractive woman with long dark hair?
Not really. Although, how long do you think is long?
At least to your shoulders. We're not permitted to divulge the personal details of our lives, but I can assure you I know what you're feeling.
And she is fantastic. A suicide hotline operator with her possessive mother, right? Madeline Kahn?
Oh, was she the mother? I thought they were just...
I thought colleagues. Yeah, I thought there was some... No! Okay, this is where maybe I got confused. Right at the beginning, she's complaining to the person who has called her up for suicide advice, anti-suicide advice, saying, I still live with my mother. So I inferred that was then the domineering woman who was staring at her and telling her to get off the phone, but maybe it wasn't.
No, I also had the thought, is this somebody's home or is it not? Because it was hard to tell.
What with it being in a tenement block with neighbours.
Yes. But first sign that this isn't true, where somebody real would live, is that Adam Sandler also lived there. And
that's true.
You strike that from the records. You've got to strike everything from the records and start again. So...
Yeah, and to make matters worse, the whole place is owned by Gary Shandling.
Oh, God.
Tell me, in all of your calls, has anybody impaled themselves?
No. Oh. Stanley, how am I going to tell the people who work for me their jobs are over?
I don't know. Try you're fired. It works for me. Does anyone ever drink glass?
We're broke. The state has cut back our funding. No, they don't drink glass. Stanley, for God's sake, what's the matter with you?
Oh, they must.
They must what?
They must what? What? They must drink glass. They must.
Yeah, the worst, the most unsettling cinematic presence that there ever was. And he's in the process of evicting them all, the entire office, but Martin is hiding it from his co-workers.
Yeah, because, I guess, even people who work for, like, mental health, like, well-being or suicide prevention or advocacy can still not really practice what they preach.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. They can be
truly
horrific people. Absolute ableist pieces of shit.
Fantastic.
It's great. It's a very diverse field. Doctors can be the most unhealthy people on earth. It's all a rich tapestry.
I love it. I love this society that we've got going for us. It's just
such a great society.
Society. And speaking of society, he goes up and he hides the eviction notice as we get some more hilarious suicide calls.
Yep, and there's a murderer about as well.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Oh, well. Whoopsie.
And
shot.
Steve Martin gets dumped by Carrie Fisher's sister.
Oh.
So we set that up. And this hasn't been very funny so far, but thank God Adam Sandler's here.
Oh, good. Okay.
Doing one of those voices that made him an American sweetheart. Thanks, America, for everything that you chose to legitimize. And for sending back James Corden. For fucking Ray.
Yeah, did we say we wanted him back? No. You tried with Piers Morgan. He's in Australia now, so...
Oh, is he? Oh, that's lovely, mate.
He did an advert in Australia talking about how he's always stood up for free speech, and that was nice.
Oh, that's nice.
I hope the irony isn't lost on him being a cunt and all that.
I hope everyone appreciates that out there. But Madeline Kahn gets stuck in a lift.
Yeah. And she gets to do her best scene. And
yes, she does. Absolutely, she does. We also get to see Martin on the phone, and he's a fucking maniac. But yeah, I worry that the movie wants us to think that about someone else, because the person on the other end of the phone is Liev Schreiber, who has called, and he manages to get their address, at which point, having reluctantly given out his address, we cut to him, and he is playing a trans woman.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We get to play that fun 90s game of, are you expecting me to be laughing at this person's mere existence, or am I the asshole?
Yeah.
I love that game. It's every 90s game.
It's my favourite game because it just makes me feel alive. I feel my heart pounding in my chest, and the sweat, that very specific cold sweat, start to prickle, and I just love it, Paul. And it starts off badly, doesn't it? It doesn't start off great because the family are all cunts, and Piers Morgans, as I like to call them, and
right, Piers,
like all ignoring the fact that Liev Schreiber is fucking hot.
Oh yeah. Let's not have any mistake about that. Liev Schreiber looks fucking great in this movie.
Actually stunning, but
actually stunning.
Yeah, but and then the movie. Oh, Paul, it careens between the two for the rest of the movie.
The rest of the movie will have lovely moments of sympathy and actual observation, combined with just the most trans panic you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks 90s.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, if a gay guy was here or a black person, it would be the same deal. It would be well-intentioned, incredibly naive shit. The only difference is it's unlikely. No, with a gay person, it probably would have been a hetero person playing that character, but with a black person, at least, they probably wouldn't have blacked up in the 90s.
Yeah, when was Soul Man? 80s?
Yes, it was. There you go.
There we go. Different time.
There we go.
Different time.
Fucking time.
Out with Thatcher. Out with blackface. That's what we all said.
Mickey Rooney tried. He tried to continue doing it into the 90s, but luckily he's very small, so people could just put a box over him and he couldn't get out.
And he's still there to that day. And if you listen quietly on a calm night, you still hear him saying Jiminy Jillikers.
Who's the good guy in that joke? Me for making a joke about his height, or Mickey Rooney? I dare you to sympathise with Mickey Rooney in this joke, or Ricky Mooney.
Or Ricky Rooney. Any of them, they're a terrible bunch and of varying heights.
We're a terrible bunch. This is like mixed nuts. Nobody is sympathetic. So
and I hate everyone. And so oh god, Paul, what? They've tried and fix the lift, and Madeline Kahn almost dies. They try and fix the lift.
Yeah, they continue to be just absolutely awful at helping people. Khan is lifted out of the lift, but then Juliette Lewis shows up and gets the lift working, and it's a moment that is played very large.
Paul, it could be played large, or it could just be a normal size scene played over itself 100 times. Who's to say?
Coming back, we're gonna be crushed. Do you have anything to say to Susan? Any last words?
She broke up with me.
Someone talking to me?
I'm talking to you!
Push the red button! Don't you hear me?
God! Oh! We're gonna die! We're dead! We're dead! I knew it! I knew.
It's a scene of sound and fury, told by a madman, signifying nothing. Is what it is.
Yeah.
And at this point, they come into the house, and the William Tell overture starts to play, and I really just want everything to stop. I start to sympathize with the people on the other end of the suicide hotline number.
I want it to be the end of Cabin in the Woods.
Just all the doors to open, just different creatures to come out.
Yeah, and eventually just a god to come out and destroy the world. Cut to black, and it's just you in the nothing. And the film carries on in spite of all this. We've got a lot of stock music to play still, so
fuck me. And what's left is basically a list of things that happen. There is not necessarily an implied sequence. Daphne's brother gets knocked out, so they take him to a vet.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler comes back with a ukulele, and it doesn't last as long as you might fear.
I'll see you later, Louis.
And it's probably it's one of the quieter, least annoying moments of the movie, I would say, because Adam Sandler, despite doing his voice, is just
the voice.
It's not the singing wasn't as egregious.
It was one line, I think, the first time, which helped. It was dreadful, but quite short.
Yeah.
But Daphne's brother overdoses on dog medicine?
I ignored that bit.
Fair enough.
Not intentionally.
Schreiber arrives at the house. Someone gets knocked out. Is it Madeline Kahn?
Yes, Madeline Kahn gets knocked out. And Steve Martin's very surprised that Liev Schreiber's here.
Yep, and that answers the question. I think that's the final scene of the game that we were playing. Oh, yes, we've got a definitive answer on that then.
Yeah, great.
With their little dance.
Yeah, but then, this is one of those things, like, I interpreted it. Everything that Liev Schreiber did was so graceful and wonderful. I was like, it's sympathetic. There's a lot of heart here. Oh, no, it's just me in 2022 having that opinion.
Yes, and Schreiber, I think, playing it straight, so to speak.
Yeah.
But everything else about the movie is inviting you to find this hilarious.
Ooh, God, imagine.
God.
They do a dance, and then Madeline Kahn wakes up and sees them. And the shame, Paul, the shame.
Oh, the shame. He pulls away very quickly. And she's mad about the eviction notice, so she threatens to sue and leaves.
For no reason, yeah.
Yep,
and,
again, that won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Rita Wilson comes home and is in a dress and is being followed around by the camera at butt height, so now she's hot.
Now she's hot, yo. And
Only now is she hot.
Yeah. Adam Sandler always thought so, though, and he plays the song later, obviously. It'd be crazy if he did that first. Well, not crazy.
Yeah.
But also crazy. And they have a dinner.
Yes, and ending with Martin throwing a cake out the window and accidentally smashing Madeline Kahn's window, which absolutely forces her to fuck the neighbor guy.
Yeah, it's very, Paul, it's very Love Happens, isn't it? Is it Love Happens, the Jeremy's Iron movie?
Oh, no, Marriage, Weddings, and Other Disasters. It probably wasn't Marriage, Weddings, and Other Disasters. Love, Marriage, and Other Disasters.
One of those, and yeah, it's got
one of those three things.
It's got that sort of vibe going on at the moment. They do a fuck on the beach.
Yep, with dogs.
Dogs all yapping around as we all wish we could. And
Christ.
And then that's it. Juliette Lewis's American-Australian boyfriend, Daphne's brother from Frasier, turns up with a gun. And Juliette Lewis wrestles it off. He shoots Liev Schreiber's foot.
Yes, whilst she is trying to disarm him, the only member of the group who is doing so.
Yes.
Also, I can't remember what his problem with them is or why he has a gun, but he does, and this is happening. Schreiber gets shot, but then Lewis takes the gun away and decides that the gun needs to be emptied, and the best way to do that is to randomly fire it into different directions in the flat.
Yeah, very Gary Marshall move, isn't it?
He was always doing
Pretty
that.
Woman. I haven't seen Pretty Woman. Gary Marshall, the man, couldn't let him near set. and yeah, she lets loose two of those bullets at the door at head and heart height. And it just so happens that Gary Shandlord is behind that door.
Oh, no. The landlord. Gary Shandlord, the landlord, was right there.
We all wish we could do that, don't we?
Oh! Gary Shandlord, the landling, was behind the door and gets murdered. So, So we've got a bunch of things now. Rita Wilson is into Steve Martin again. So they have a bathside kiss. Sandler and Schreiber get a scene, and it scares me to think about the ideas that this might be triggering him for 20 years hence.
Oh, God,
Juliette Lewis and Daphne's brother consider the body of Gary Shandling. These three things happen simultaneously.
And am I right in thinking that the bathside kiss does elevate into a bathside fuck?
Oh, I don't know.
So
I didn't know how to take it that way.
I
it
thought
started
with
a panic attack.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
There we go. Don't all fucks, don't they?
Right?
Please,
ladies?
Please.
Well, they come out rearranging their clothes and looking flustered and...
okay. They disguise dead Gary Shandling as a Christmas tree and try to take him out on the boardwalk, but... Oh, fuck, the rollerbladers show up again and cause another accident, revealing the body to everyone.
Jon Stewart, stop ruining Christmas for everyone. So
we're trying to get rid of a festive body, Jon Stewart.
And then the police show up and everybody gathers round and there's a whole palaver. Madeline Kahn lies to the police, tries to obstruct justice, and she gets let off because she's Madeline Kahn and she did a funny thing earlier. And
we all saw it.
Yeah. And then Juliette, Australian Daphne's brother, says he was the one who did it.
Yeah, and then Lewis reveals the gun, which Daphne's brother grabs and runs away in a sequence so tense that I genuinely fall asleep and have to rewind it later.
Oh God, I always do that. I have been dissociating quite a lot. It's a serious issue.
I literally fell asleep the second. What's weird, I went back and watched it and was like, so when did I stop? It was literally the minute he grabbed the gun off of her. I closed my eyes and went to sleep.
Thanks, brain.
It's always trying to do what's best for me, and I so rarely listen. So rarely listen.
Well, maybe you should, because when you don't, you do things like Anthony LaPaglia, Australia, Daphne's boyfriend, brother, and it's all claps in Paul, all realities. He gets up on the roof, and Steve Martin uses all the skills he's demonstrated earlier in the movie to talk him down.
All his learnings
that
he's had.
None of that happened. Well, he talks him down anyway.
He talks him down anyway, but surprise, the guy that they killed was the serial killer. Gary Shandling was the killer, so
all's forgiven.
All is forgiven. No further questions. You're free to go. And then she gives birth.
Yeah. And then nativity scene. There you go.
That was all leading up to this.
Yeah. Bottom.
We all remembered the beleaguered trans woman from the nativity would honestly make it better. The set upon trans woman who's more competent than anyone else in the room, but everyone still thinks it's a joke because they're dicks.
Yeah.
Best part of the Bible. And that's the end of Mixed Nuts.
Indeed. We've got salt on our fingers. Oil on our lips.
And a greasy stomach where we were eating them from. We didn't have any cutlery left. She took them all. And now, here we are. Staring into the abyss. And that's what the fundamental problem is with, mate, I've got to go shave my balls again, sorry. God, I can't believe I have to do this so many times a day.
If only there was a simpler way than starting a house fire and diving into it.
Balls first, in the hopes of singeing off the hair. And yet that's my reality. So excuse me for a moment, schlunk, petrol can.
Hang on a tick.
What?
What the fuck is that?
Match in my hand. What is it? What is it, mate?
That thing over your shoulder.
What? Oh, that's the sponsorship deal for Manscaped.
We should probably look at it.
Okay. Oh my God, it's the answer to all of my problems. Oh, I dropped the match.
That's right, Paul. Because, as he is about to find out, Manscaped is the best in men's downstairs grooming, fixer-upping, even selling for a profit if that's the kind of thing you go for. You know what? You don't even have to be a man.
Flip those balls.
Burn them. Or don't. Because you know what? You don't even have to be a man or have a horror show down there. Guy, girl, or non-binary, you're going to benefit from the performance package just like more than 7 million men and their double number of smooth balls. And if you want to be one of those beneficiaries from old Uncle Smooth Balls, then you can, because Manscaped are offering 20% and free worldwide shipping with the code OGTPOD at manscaped.com.
Unbelievable. And I suppose with that sort of thing, well, it's the kind of thing where you might be able to get the performance package 4.0.
Well, I'd imagine so.
Well, what would the benefits of that be? What? Getting the Lawnmower 4.0, a waterproof and also 4,000 LED spotlight having thing in order to precisely shave your balls. Thing, it says. Thing is what it is. Would you get that? You probably not. Probably wouldn't also get the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, a cutting-edge ceramic blade being used in order to reduce grooming accidents, thanks to the advanced skin-safe technology, both of which are waterproof. You wouldn't be getting that sort of thing. Nor would you be getting the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, or the Crop Reviver Toner, or the Performance Boxer Briefs, or the travel bag to put it all in. Oh, now, hang on a minute. You would get all of those things.
Oh, you would get those. Just to be clear.
You'd get each one. All of them.
For contractual purposes, to be clear, you do get those. All of those in the Performance Package 4.0.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's amazing as stated before in the hearings of the previous advert. We have been long-time advocates of shaving those balls. We've gone the whole route from the whole route. It's not a word that I say from where I'm from. We go the whole. We've gone the whole gamut of smooth balling exercises, from setting a house fire in houses that you've just broken into to record advertisements, to using your hair clippers or scissors if you're just looking for a little trim. And none of it's good if you're always looking for a little trim and then a big trim. and then you cut your balls on some shitty old hair clippers. But not anymore. I've been using the Manscaped. I've been using the Manscaped. Yep, I've been using the Manscaped lawnmower trimmer since it fell into my lap, because we have a very, very personable postie. I've been getting down and dirty, intimate with it. I've got one leg up on the bath as the shower's running, and do you know what? My balls are smooth, and everybody knows about it because I can't stop yelling about it when the shower's on or off.
Or off, windows open. If you're in a school, no matter what, you're always yelling about it, and now it's time for you to yell about it too.
I have used the ball deodorant. I've got to say, I've used the crop toner, and I spritzed as well, all thanks to Manscaped. And if you want to be one of those smooth balling, scrotal spritzing winners, then you can at manscaped.com, and you can get 20% off of your order and free worldwide shipping with the code OGTPod at manscaped.com.
Amazing. Manscaped, a better way to ball. What did you think of Mixed Nuts?
Oh, Paul, it was lots of kooky music and people running around yelling.
Jesus.
I'm taking up the kooky birthdays. Are you okay?
Open this door right now. We have an employee who desperately needs to get in.
At first I thought, well, this is charmingly naff and I might be able to feel fondly towards it within like the first 5 minutes. And with every passing minute, it just got that little bit more annoying until I was genuinely angry.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it really... Oh, sorry.
It's just so... It was so artless. There was nothing... Like, the fact that a respected cinematographer had, like, the helm here...
Yeah, my God.
It's baffling because it looks like
really is.
They just rolled cameras and went, go! And everybody said their lines at once at the same time.
Yeah. It's very hard for me to see how this went so wrong because it is dreadful. It's aimless. None of the characters have anything to them. They are all going for kind of kooky side character, but it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's very awkward and just... Yeah, it's joyless, and in terms of the dark humor, it just doesn't have the insight to make it properly funny.
Yeah.
As far as it goes, it's just, what if the people on the suicide hotline treated it like any other job and were actually just as fucked up as the people who are calling?
Yeah.
But again, without the insight, so people just perform, issues. And as for the matter of the sort of trans narrative within it, it comes right back down to that thing. We've had it before, but I can't remember what movie it was. But it's right down to the fact that it can't even really bother to be properly offensive.
That was the Nan movie, Paul.
Oh, fuck me, was it actually?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, it's just that there's a trans person in it, but they can't really think of anything to say. And a couple of, one or two actually nice, observations. Like they talk about voice dysmorphia and that kind of thing. They don't use the word dysmorphia, but they talk about, the voice thing. But, there's no real level of insight there or any commentary at all because there isn't really on anything.
No, exactly. The most insightful the movie gets are these few moments where it really just feels like one of the SNL team just wanked out their B-grade material. Like the bit where Steve Martin calls the LA Times or whoever, and he's on like a touch tone answering service, and he's just got to sit there and listen to all the options, and he's got to press a number, and he eventually almost turns to camera. And does a what's the deal with that face? And then it's like the chat with the three dudes in the vet. Women and their pillows. What's that about?
Oh my God.
So many pillows.
How many pillows does Susan have on her bed?
About 12.
See? What is it with women and pillows? I mean, how many do you need? Two. One for you and one for her, right?
Yeah.
Vanessa has all these pillows. I mean, she's got round ones, she's got heart-shaped ones, she's got those pillows with the stuff around the edges.
Ruffles?
Yeah. So you want to go to bed? You got to take all the pillows off. Then in the morning, you got to put them all back on. What is the point?
Jesus, what have we got, What have we got that we can use? It's ridiculous. And I'd like to talk about Steve Martin.
Okay.
I've seen exactly one Steve Martin performance that I enjoyed and found funny, and that was The Man with Two Brains.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I remember finding that movie funny. I've seen some other Steve Martin stuff, including, obviously, some of his SNL stuff. What the fuck is SNL? America, how do you work? Explain how SNL managed to last so long.
I would genuinely like to watch an episode of SNL without an American audience, just to to watch it without constant whooping.
I don't feel like it would help. We are two wild and crazy guys. I think I'm getting happy feet. That was Steve Martin bit.
Oh, great. Well, I've seen. We'll talk about SNL like a different episode, maybe just a whole Patreon episode about what the fuck is SNL.
We'll back to back every episode of SNL.
Yeah, we hate ourselves now. But yeah, I remember watching The Jerk, and I got to the end of it and went, I'm ready to laugh. And maybe I thought it's maybe not meant to be that kind of movie, but I'd always been under the impression that Steve Martin was a funny man, and
well, that's the reputation that America promises that he's earned out there. But I've never managed to actually see much evidence of it, except for The Man with Two Brains, and I think he was just working with good material.
Yeah,
you know, I always remember is where he was like, so far we've only we can save your wife by and it's David Warner doing it. We can save your wife by transferring her mind into a body of another person. So far we've only managed to do it with primates. And Steve Martin just says, I couldn't fuck a gorilla. It's David Warner replies, no, of course. But it's so straight. That's the thing about it, is it's straight, it's deadpan for the most part. Which is not what Steve Martin seems to be known for. It seems to be known for gurning and screaming. Little Shop of Horrors. He plays the dentist. He's good.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, twice.
Twice, motherfucker. Yeah, when I was younger, I conflated him and Leslie Nielsen. Because as a child, they were just two older men with grey hair, like in comedies, and maybe I got that impression from him. But like, it's funny that the straight delivery again works best for Steve Martin.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I mean, look in Mixed Nuts when he's on the phone with the hilarious newspaper touch tone thing. He can't not move. It would have been funnier if he'd have just sat or stood deadpan, you know, bated breath, waiting. But he had to keep throwing up his arms and gesticulating and moving.
Yeah,
and it's too much. Which is the main problem of this movie is it's too much. There's no
absolutely
the mantra less
top.
Is more was had its throat slit and dumped into a ditch round back. It gives you no space to process anything, no downtime for anything to sink in, no character moments that to let you give you an in to the story. And then when it ends, it like as the reviewer said, it does all tie up nicely at the end, and it's shit. It's to not be glib, it ties up very nicely at the end, and it's so convenient and so facetious that it's kind of insulting. And
so insincere.
Yeah. Well,
I forgot. Haley Joel Osment was credited in this as the kid. Which kid? Wait, the baby?
Jesus, maybe. 1995?
1994.
No,
not for
90s,
Sixth Sense.
Right?
No idea. Yes, the Leslie Nielsen comparison is very apt, and it just feels like it didn't really land ever for him. So, you know, focusing in, Madeline Kahn, and we'll see this in Quickfire, is, I think, the best performer in the film.
Yeah.
Men are not true to anything. They will have sex with a tree.
Mrs. Munchnick, if you look out the window, you'll see him pulling up on his bicycle at any moment.
I could be having a Christmas Eve dinner right now with all of my dead husband's relatives. I am not someone with no place to go. Men are not true to anything. They will have sex with a tree.
Mrs. Munchnick, if you look out the window, you'll see him pulling up on his bicycle at any moment.
I could be having a Christmas Eve dinner right now with all of my dead husband's relatives. I am not someone with no place to go.
And she's still given very little to work with.
Very little to work with, but she's doing the voice, she's doing the austere kind of thing, she's playing it relatively natural, well, no, not natural, sorry. She's playing it very austere, sort of caricaturish.
It feels
great
natural
character
for her.
work.
Yeah.
You believe in this crazy person. But, that was an entertaining performance. Liev Schreiber should not be playing a trans woman, but is nevertheless doing so with a fair amount of heart and sincerity and a couple of good lines. And again, looking gorgeous, as we agree.
Yeah, it's amazing.
My voice puts you off, doesn't it?
Not at all.
It doesn't suit me. In that sense, I am exactly like Kissinger.
Henry Kissinger?
Haven't you noticed? He has this odd little nasal voice in a pompous fat body. Must upset the Russians terribly. I met him once.
How fascinating.
Not that he would remember me. No one does.
Again, it could just be a performance from Liev Schreiber, but it never felt patronizing. It felt like...
Not on her side. Not on the actor's side of that character, whose pronouns are not made clear.
No. Well, Steve Martin does very, very clearly... like, Steve Martin corrects when Rita Wilson goes, "Oh, is that her coat?" And Steve Martin goes, "His coat."
Their pronouns are never made clear by them.
Yeah.
Based on whatever interaction he has, because I believe somewhere there's a horrific plot summary that uses the T word to describe her. You know, the T word that has a V in it. And then elsewhere in the Wikipedia summary, they are described as a trans woman. So, but I don't know who wrote that or where that comes from.
Yeah.
So,
because it was the 90s, I assumed it was a cross-dresser, but it's because the fucking the milieu at the time I don't think was sophisticated enough. But and to be clear, when I said Steve Martin makes it clear, I was that was a criticism of the film.
Sure. Yeah, no worries. But cross-dresser, but I don't know if cross-dressers often went by female pronouns when they did, unless it was like a drag performance. Yeah. Because I saw, because there's a good podcast I've discovered as a result of this, because I wanted to hear some other perspectives, and I found a podcast called Is It Transphobic, which is entirely a panel of 3 people watching movies and trying to talk about whether or not they portray trans people positively, and then either way whether or not the movie is entertaining, which is quite fun.
Okay, that's cool.
And they talked about mixed nuts, and basically I think their conclusion was no and no.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily inherently transphobic, although there is a fair amount of trans panic stuff. But yes, it is not entertaining. So there's no real reason to go in here and find out. If you're interested in representations of people from different identities in the 90s, which is a very interesting avenue, because the 90s represented the kind of peak Get Out period of sort of liberal complacency, of just sort of, yes, let's be inclusive. Oh, should we get anyone to actually direct these movies?
You're fired.
I narrowed my eyes, people. I assume that got picked up on mic.
Oh, yeah, definitely, mate.
So that's that. But yes, in general, it's just a shame. It's a shame that this misfired. All right, let's quick fire things that we actually liked about this stupid, terrible movie. Quick fire. And then also let's commit to watching the good Nora Ephron movies in the next year, so that next Christmas we can feel the better for it.
Maybe.
Okay. The opening starts with White Christmas, as sung by, oh god, I have the band, I don't know what they are. But it's a very good rendition of White Christmas. And it was young Steve Martin cycling, and I just kind of thought, well, surely I'll like this. Surely I will.
He's so energetic.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
He's there, he looks good, and it's like Christmas music, and it's like, I feel like he's cycling for a bustling city. I'll like this. And then literally the first comedy beat was like, oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Right. Actually, that opening suggested to me that this wasn't going to be to my tastes. And
oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's something about Christmas comedies that start with Christmas songs, and I know that makes a lot of sense, but it sickens me. I just find it very boring.
Right.
I'd much rather it start not with like but either an odd take on a Christmas song or like a happy Christmas song playing whilst the comedy thing is being set up. Perhaps surviving Christmas with the head in the oven was probably the best. Version of that. Very dark, but
I remember. I don't remember. I listened to. I was opposing on that this morning. I don't remember the sequence in particular, but
just to double check. But you've got that playlist of our specific disagreements that you.
No, I don't. I have a playlist of our Christmas episodes, and I use that.
You've edited it together. It's 17 hours long. Yeah. But yeah, my first moment where I thought, well, might get better, when Gary Shandlord, the landling, is giving the eviction notice to Steve Martin. He's walking around unscrewing lights and turning off the exit, the emergency exit sign, just anything to save money. And it was a fun little thing, and they never drew attention to it. There was never a wait, what are you doing? Moment. It was just something he did as they were having the discussion, and that was very good.
God, you're right. With the movies we watch, we do have to just appreciate things that aren't literally said for an audience as if they can't see the screen.
Yeah.
Oh God. I enjoyed when the skating people crashed into the Santa played by Daphne's Australian brother. I enjoyed Parker Posey. No, it's earlier than that. It's when they pull alongside cycling Steve Martin. Parker Posey just looks over and gives him a contemptuous gaze as they're traveling level with each other, and I enjoyed that. That was probably the most LA feeling moment of the movie.
Yeah, nice. Okay. When just before Madeline Kahn goes off to get stuck in a lift, Rita Wilson, like, she'd set up that she's going to spend Christmas with her dead husband's family.
Yeah.
And Rita Wilson goes,
Say hello to your dead husband's sister for me.
It's a very lame, cheery,
very
very bad attempt at cheeriness.
I really liked Rita Wilson when she was playing it natural, when she was doing it low-key. When obviously she has to go big and she starts running around in the background and flailing her arms, it just feels a bit chaotic. But I enjoyed her low-key stuff. That was fun.
And her low-key stuff.
And her what?
And her Loki stuff.
And her Loki stuff is great.
Yeah.
Speaking of Loki stuff, the physical comedy for the most part didn't really do it for me, but Steve Martin falling off a chair in the background of shot and then springing back up to his feet was quite good.
That was my next good thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because it happens in the background, and he goes underneath the table, and it's great. Yeah. As long as you fall out of shot.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, when Madeline Kahn, she has a clicking on her phone, and somebody calls, and they're saying they're going to kill themselves right now. And this, the problem is when people call and they have their problems, nothing interesting is being said or nothing being hinted at. Everyone's just a weirdo.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, people who commit suicide, freaks.
Yeah, exactly. It ends up being really... They mentioned this in the Is It Transphobic podcast. It ends up being jokes at the expense of the people who call up the phone.
Yes, exactly. And
yeah.
That's not very good. But
no.
There's my hot take. But when there's somebody who's going to kill themselves, and then it cuts to them, they're in a phone booth with got a gun pointed at their head, and Madeline Kahn is hearing the click.
Wait, is that the Steve Wright bit? I think it's
Maybe.
Stephen Wright, right? The guy with a voice like this.
Oh, maybe.
Merry Christmas, lifesavers. How may we help you?
Hello? 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 Hello?
Static again. Hello? Hello?
Hello? I can't hear you.
Try clicking the little button. I'm having a problem hearing you.
Look, I'm at the end of my rope, and I want to die.
Click it. Click it, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, Stephen Wright, American comedian. I have him because, yes, I enjoyed his performance in that bit.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, my good thing is when she's saying make it click, because she's getting a pop on her line, and he needs to click one end of the receiver or something. Yeah. And obviously, and then there's a gunshot, and they hang up, and Steve Martin goes,
We were disconnected.
If a person's really upset, they always call back. It's working.
And he's not moving. Like no one's moving. Do you know what? Double check. It might not be in response to that bit, but I thought it was because it was.
Perhaps my DVD just jammed, but I thought it was great.
But anyway, a call is cut short. If a person's really upset, they'll call back. 10 seconds of interminable silence when Steve Martin does not move, and it's very good.
I will check it before I sample that silence. Yes. Okay. Well, this is the best scene of the movie, so maybe I should keep it. It's no. Let's have it now.
Yum, 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 yum.
Whoa. Let's have it. Let's eat it now. And we can worry about dessert later. Madeline Kahn, she's stuck in a lift.
Yeah.
She gets out the presents that she's wrapped that she was taking. There's like musical instruments in there and a little synthesizer, and she starts to sing a song about wanting help, and it's the best part of the movie.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Help! Yoo-hoo! Hey! 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 Yoo-hoo! Hey! Hey! I'm stuck in the elevator! Hey! I'm stuck in the elevator! Get me please! Come to get me on Christmas Eve! Mr. Monchick, sit me at nothing! Hey! Come to get me, you...
Yep, that was my next good thing as well. We're on
on track.
This is very, very interesting. Place your bets now, listeners.
It's gonna finish first.
It's great. Madeline Kahn is freestyling in the lift, and it's glorious.
It's very good.
You just think she was given the directive to just be herself, just do whatever she fucking wanted. And
pretend you weren't playing this terrible character I've written for you.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
All right. My next bit isn't too far in the future. Oh, no, I said that. You do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no, that was me.
Oh. Yes.
Sometimes I forget which bit I am.
It is hard after 6 years. But when... So I've got pajama Christmas presents. Steve Martin gives Catherine a handshake. I think he puts on the pajamas maybe that Catherine gets him because she's knitted them for him. And he thanks her by giving her a handshake. And it's there's something so cold and formal about the handshake instead of a hug. 90s, mate, different time.
90s. Different time, different life. And I, for one, appreciate it.
Right. Thank God. Okay.
Mine is that Juliette Lewis, when she calls up the house, she's got her arm to her head, and you can see that she's got quite a cool bracelet.
Yeah.
It's like mahjong pieces assembled into a bracelet, and it looks pretty cool.
And that is bracelet knowledge, everyone. So
yeah.
Save the NHS.
Wiki bracelets. Batman bracelet. Is that kidney on it?
No, the profits aren't going to the NHS, but save it anyway.
Save it and buy my bracelet.
Save
the
it.
more money you give me, the less likely it is I'll be a burden on the NHS when I jump off that bridge in 5 minutes. If you don't buy this.
They'll see the bracelet and they'll know. They'll know. They'll know that...
they'll know it was your fault.
Yeah. And then it's your burden. So when Catherine... So it's established when Catherine... when she gets sad earlier on, she ends up in the bathtub and she's having a little panic attack. And then later, when she sees the eviction letter, she runs straight back to the bathroom and climbs into the tub. And to me, that suggested that it wasn't just an emotional spur-of-the-moment thing that, like, despair drove her to the bathtub that one time. It's just something that she does regularly.
Yeah.
Like, every day at work, she will at least once go to the bathtub and have a cry.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, I can't remember the phrase that gets said.
A person named Felix.
Well, before there were cats named Felix, there were people named Felix.
No, I think you'll find if you look that up, the exact opposite is true.
Okay.
And I enjoyed that. Yeah, that phrasing was good.
No, that's good.
I'll sample the whole thing, and then you'll know, audience.
Okay, I'll listen to it now. Oh, yeah.
Oh, mate.
Fantastic.
Oh. Context. It's great.
Kids. So, what I thought I heard when Catherine and Steve Martin are having a conversation and Madeline Kahn chimes in from the lift, "Hey, dickheads!"
Yes, it was.
It was dickheads.
Yep.
Hey, dickhead!
because when I wrote it down, I thought, surely that's not in this film. Was it Deadheads? But no, okay, that's great. Hey, Dickheads.
No, it was Dickheads because, again, the Transphobia podcast really picked up on that and mentioned it several times.
Ah, great. Yeah, well then that was great.
That was very good. Okay, there's a moment, and again, it is slightly making fun, I think, of Lee Schreiber's strength and the idea, because like early on, the family were calling her Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the idea is that she's a not typically, feminine person, and therefore it's funny. But part of that was performed with relatively good physicality was when she has continued dancing whilst Steve Martin is just walking around the place. And as he passes, Lee Schreiber just casually picks him up and tosses him. And Martin does a very good, he stars out and then does a good yelp. So from both of them, it was good physicality.
There was great physicality during the whole dance, actually, but that was especially good. I wish I knew the name of it, but it's... and then later on, actually, when Madeline Kahn is up and, doing the thing where she threatens to sue and all that, Lee Schreiber could just be seen twirling and prancing around the apartment.
Right.
And it's all graceful. It was just, it was really, really lovely to watch.
Yeah.
Just the joy of watching somebody who can actually dance.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it must be like.
Oh, if only.
I'm sorry, Mother. So,
Mother, I cannot dance with you.
Stop asking. All my friends laugh. They
said, "Oh, you're rubbish at dancing with your mum, mate. Come watch this," and they danced with her so much better, so much more elegantly.
So when they're in the vet, and the vet runs out to tell his partner that he can't make Christmas plans, he's got to save a cat, which is actually Daphne's Australian American brother.
Catman.
As he runs past the cages of dogs outside, he says hi to them all very quickly, and it's like, oh, hey, Billy, Bobby, Ricky, Peter, Butcher, just names as he runs past, and that was a fun. That was a fun little bit.
That was a fun.
And there wasn't much, and nothing. Again, wasn't really drawn attention to. It was just blink and you miss. Blink those ears, listeners, and you miss it.
Don't be blinking your ears during this movie. You'll miss the good bit.
I tell you what, if you want to blink them ears, wink them one at a time.
Yeah, absolutely. Then you'll still get all the goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a fucking horrifying thing that happened to me. Is that I liked an Adam Sandler line. It's largely due to the context, but it's when they've explained the plan of dressing up the dead body as a Christmas tree and then taking it out to the boulevard.
What's going on?
Something wrong? Nothing at all. Felix and Gracie have turned the landlord into a Christmas tree, and now we're going to take it down and leave it on the boardwalk.
And that's a good plan. We'll help you.
And then cut to them doing it immediately, because this was after a long discussion between them about whether or not they should do this and how ridiculous this plan is. But Adam Sandler agreeing that it's a good plan was enough to push it over the line and get this actually done. Was amusing.
Okay, cool. That's you're actually, if I were to be matching you, that would be my final quickfire. So I'm gonna have to take a 10-minute step back.
I lag behind a little.
I was taking my time on Liv Schreiber. There is for all the the trans panic of the scene when they're on the sofa talking. There's a power cut, and when the lights come back on, Liv Schreiber is up close to Steve Martin. And
when you said power cut, sorry, I thought this was a new fun phrase that you had for a very powerful edit. Power cut.
Michael Bay's been talking about it a lot on his vlog, and like in the moments when I stop staring at the spinning screen to vomit onto my lap, I can pay attention. Yeah, he's all about the power cuts nowadays.
Oh, I love the power cut.
Yeah, but in the old-fashioned sense of the word, the power cut is a good lights-on reveal.
Oh, yes, I remember it. Yes, I know. I just like the sentiment behind it, but you're right. It was a surprising moment, which,
yes,
it's good stuff.
Which you got to be thankful for in this movie.
You've got to be thankful for a movie that is absolutely so on the rails.
I felt something.
La Kinema?
Come quick. Kids, come quick. I can hug.
Just briefly. You missed it. Where were you?
You missed it, Bobby. Go watch it.
Okay, so Martin's big speech is entirely unearned, but it's not bad. when he talks about the idea that Christmas is a magnifying glass that makes all of your troubles seem worse. And if you're lonely, you're lonelier at Christmas, and everything that's a bit wrong in your life feels much worse at Christmas.
Yes.
I like that because that is a good explanation of the sort of seasonal affective disorder and affective disorder. And also of the sort of, the notion of Christmas and the New Year as well is the idea that it is meant to be a sort of yardstick where you stop and you take stock of where you are, where your life is, and all of your little, shortcomings and deficiencies suddenly feel representative as if they are where you're at. And a summary of what your life has meant so far. And that's terrifying and often very upsetting. And I like that, but I can't remember what his... Oh, then his justification is, but still, something good might happen. Which, cheer up, love.
Cheer up, love.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck. Yeah, very much so. And you're right, it is unearned because none of the film was about that.
Absolutely. And it could have been. It could easily been just a bunch of people who suddenly get very freaked out about their problems that they're barely on top of most of the time. But no, it's just about the goofs and the kookiness.
A farce that played out very similar to the Soul Man scene, with the everyone's in different rooms and we keep walking in on each other.
Yes, although every time something like that was about to happen, they stopped. Like at one point, the ex shows up and they're just like, "Bye," and they have a relatively good line, I think, something like, "Can you wait?" Something like, "Can you wait?" But then she replies, and then she says something good in return to that. I'll sample it here if I can be fucked.
Okay, I'll just in case you can be fucked. Nice.
And if I can't?
Nice.
There we go.
He's taking a bath with Catherine. Would you like to wait? No. Good, because there's enough going on here as it is.
When, again, in this scene, sentiment not great, but when Liv Schreiber is talking to Steve Martin and about how nobody ever wants to dance with her, and Steve Martin talks about how he never cares what anybody thinks. So you wouldn't hesitate to dance even with me. And at this point, Steve Martin has her coat and is trying to encourage her to leave. And he goes, "Absolutely not." And with a shit-eating grin, he shakes her coat again, as if talking to somebody he thinks is insane. So the sentiment is not great, but for the one time in this movie, the physicality really worked. Steve Martin, other than the pratfall off the chair.
Yeah.
And
fair enough.
There's when Madeline Kahn is leaving after threatening to sue, and she's insulting Catherine, saying she's a bloodsucker, and Steve Martin defends her, and Madeline Kahn goes, "Catherine wants to rip your clothes off, Philip." And there's a pause. She does, and again, it's like the closest to deadpan probably of Steve Martin in the entire movie, and just that, because after that, he does become like Catherine's fit now. Oh, this changes everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, oh, great, you're as bad as Tim Allen, mate. Actual Tim Allen in his real life.
Actual Tim Allen. No, you take that back.
It's said it doesn't matter how many times I take it back, it's going to be used against me. And then, my final one is when Australian-American man, Daphne's boyfriend brother from Frasier, Becker, tells everybody his plan.
We take it downstairs, we leave it on the boardwalk.
Science.
It was it was good stuff. I could see it. No, I know. I just it stood out to me as a joke that would be funny. Yeah.
And I can see how you'd find that funny, Paul.
Yeah. And my final moment was that final image where we see the nativity, the fake nativity that's grown up, and we pull out. And it was fairly nice. It was a bit Greenaway. It had that Nyquist cinematography. He shot Fanny and Alexander, for fuck's sake.
Fuck, I love that film.
And it's just, they're running an advertisement for that. They're trying to make it a Christmas movie, which it is, kind of, for a bit, at the BFI. And they're like, it's a Dickensian tale. And it's like, yeah, it is Dickensian. It's 1/3 A Christmas Carol and then 2/3 Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
So we'll see how people get on with that.
Yeah.
But so
fucking magical,
it just looks nice. It's a good bit of Nyquist cinematography and a nice little Christmassy spirit. Oh, I forgot. Last week I mentioned to Jen, that I had a better appreciation of modern, bland, soulless Christmas movies, which honestly I would sooner watch than a failed attempt at a black comedy that pokes fun at Christmas. It's more digestible. Lindsay Lohan is more digestible than this. But I happened to mention Last Christmas, Paul Feig's movie from a couple of years ago of Emilia Clarke.
Oh, yeah.
And I mentioned to her that the movie has a particularly amusing plot twist, and I managed to capture her reaction. Would you also like to hear this plot twist, or will you one day watch Last Christmas?
I can't imagine I'm ever going to get around to watching Last Christmas, so...
All right.
Wow.
Fucking wow.
Wow. Wow.
I know, when I realized that's what was happening, like, I just literally started laughing out loud.
That's fantastic.
Thank you, Emma Thompson.
I feel like we've all been had by Emma Thompson.
I feel like literally that's what it felt like. It felt like, by the way, this whole thing has been a joke.
But it's at least they're honest, you know, and
I know.
I think we can all appreciate a Christmas joke.
Yeah, it's literally a cracker joke, and I loved it for that. So yeah, the one better thing is Last Christmas. Right. Well, I can't help but wonder what might be in our stockings from the OGTeam, but I think we might be disappointed.
Cole, mate.
Yeah, I had a little look.
No one's seen it, apparently. Or they have, and they resent the fact that we still exist.
Oh, yeah, there's that as well. They hate us, I forgot. But also, yes, nobody's seen Mixed Nuts, is what I'm learning. And I can't recommend that anyone does. Please, my one better thing legitimately is the good Nora Ephron films, but I feel like outside of me, that's not a tough sell. I feel like for the people who actually like comedy movies, Sleepless in Seattle and, You've Got Mail are like all-timers.
Yeah, you recommending those to people is like somebody saying to you, oh, I've found a really niche art film and it's called Old Boy.
Fair enough.
But I also haven't seen them, so...
Well, true. So I recommend to us that we watch Nora Ephron. Those 4 movies. We're going to watch, When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, and Julie and Julia. Which I don't think is actually a rom-com, that last one. I think it's something else. But yeah, so... Yeah, that's where we're at. That's the state of the art. How about you? What about your one better thing? The one better thing.
Well, I was just thinking of farces and look out the window, mate. But I hate that this government is vaguely left-leaning and just kind of just nothing. God,
I wish I had a government of nothing. That'd be lovely.
I know, it's fucking great. So, just not to talk about all the lovely things they do. I'm just affecting a political position for not even laughs. I don't know why I'm here. You've got Carnage and Noises Off. I think I've mentioned them both before as one better things, but like Carnage and Noises Off basically do the chaos well.
What's the second one you're saying?
Noises Off. It's I have mentioned it once, and I cannot remember which film it was one better thing for, but it's a Michael Caine movie. As he's a director of a play, and it's a very fast-paced play, and loads of things keep going wrong during rehearsals, and it's a lot of really cool one-ers and just very fast-paced, really tightly choreographed scenes that take place on the set, and the camera sort of moves from stage to backstage, and it's really impressive. And,
it's Michael Frayn wrote the play.
Oh, okay.
I like Michael Frayn.
Michael Frayn
and Michael Caine.
Was exactly. Oh, there was a typo, and like, no. I wanted Burt Reynolds.
Oh my god! It was directed by Horsey X model. What's her name?
Sybil Shepherd.
Sybil Shepherd's old husband, Peter Bogdanovich, director of At Long Last Love.
Well, there you go. That'll make sense now. What a wonderful film. They're both great in their own ways. Carnage, specifically for dialogue, and again, it's another play. Noises Off. It just, when you're doing chaos, it has to be surgical. It has to be so tight. Or, you know, or it's a Stampede 28 weeks later type mayhem. But when it's like chaos between three people, you can't just have them all yell with kooky music playing and hope that that's going to be enough.
Yeah.
Noises Off is a very good example of how
to craft it.
Portray something like that. Yes.
Excellent. Perfect. Well, there you go. That was the one better thing. The one better thing.
Yeah.
The one better thing. Well, Paul, how can people find out all about our Christmassy adventures in Snowland? By which I mean the UK. And by snow, I mean come.
Well, they can cancel their YouPorn subscriptions because it's killing the industry. And honestly, putting hardworking filmmakers like us out of business. Doesn't matter that the complaints and many of the negative reviews are revolved around the fact that we don't have any actual sexual intercourse in the movies. It's completely YouPorn.
How vulgar. Since when is porn all about that?
Yeah. What's wrong with giving her a kiss? And by that, I mean having a conversation, because love of God.
Yeah.
Nothing. We don't want no bodies. It's just a black screen with two voices talking. Much like if you're listening to this and you close your eyes. Go on, do it. Because if you go onto Twitter and Facebook and look at OGT Pod, we're there. And on Twitter and OGT Pod, we say, listen to this show. And so if you do that, and then you come back to us, we can say, hey, welcome back, everybody. You can find us. We have a Patreon now, as of January 20. We've had a Patreon for quite a few years, and
there's so much stuff in there.
Hundreds of hours, mate, of extra special content, all for you. We are currently reworking our top 30 list. Remember that episode we did fucking years ago?
11
years ago. Yeah, first year. As first year cucks, we did our top 30 movies, and we're in the process of reworking it based on a rubric Paul picked up in his many travels with Laura Mulvey.
Ooh, through cinema.
Cinema of society.
Cinema.
And and more and more. And if you liked any of the bullshit that came out of our mouths, you might also like our TTRPG D&D podcast, Quest Fantastic. It's been a crazy time. Things have been going off the walls and then back on the walls, and then they're glued to the wall now, so they can't leave again. And whilst we try and do that, I heartily recommend you get on board.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Paul on board.
I'm also Paul on board. Stop it.
Brilliant. And remember, the one good thing about Mixed Nuts is that it's actually in no way representative of the best of Nora Ephron's work, and that's something we can all celebrate.
Yay!
Yay!